Well, I wanted to work with Rome because the moment that I met him, I knew that there was some type of a connection where I felt like I already knew his soul from somewhere, and I mean, it was quick. And I just trust him uncategorically, like, I trust him intuitively. That's a big reason, and then the more that I got to know him, the more that I realized, like, this dude's a complete wealth of knowledge, unlike anything I've seen, and as a coach, he cares more than some, like, that I've worked with in the past, like, when I don't cares more isn't really right, but, like, he will reach out, check on me, and I just know that he gives a damn about me as a human, so well, I've continued to struggle with smoking cigarettes, which has been a goal of mine for, well, specifically more this year to quit. So I wanted to focus on that. But overall, I just wanted to reconnect and recenter and refocus a lot of the practice that starts to slip away until you're fully immersed in the experience like you are here. So it's like a reminder of, oh yeah, if you do all of these things, you're gonna feel like $1 million. And it's only been 2 days and I feel incredible. So I should say that my knee has been giving me a terrible fit, right? Like I injured my knee a few years ago. I had a meniscal root tear that was torn off the bone and they wanted to do some very extreme surgery to me that had a 70% chance of working. It was very archaic. They were going to have a button on the front of my knee and I wasn't going to be able to put weight on my foot for 6 months. And the doctor told me that if I didn't do that surgery and take this 70% shot, that I would be back to him for a full knee replacement within the year. That did not happen. Um, so I've done a lot of stretching and I do low impact exercises to keep this knee going, but it's just been stiff for the whole time and just bugs me intermittently. So that was one of the other problems that I wanted to solve, and have been wanting to solve for a long time. Well, I like the personal touch. I like the intimate setting. I like the connection, the real, genuine connections that are formed here. I like the informality of it all, where there's not a structured, like, there's not, I don't have to be here somewhere at a certain time. It's like, hey, once everyone, that's you. Let me start over. What I like about it is that it's informal and it's structured while still being unstructured, and it allows for flow in the people circadian rhythm and that sort of thing. It's not like, oh, we're gonna start, we're gonna do this at 8, and then we're gonna do this at 10, and then we're gonna uh I've in a lot of things like this that I've been to, I need a day to really recover. And when I come here, I know that I'm gonna leave feeling rested, restored, and rejuvenated, and not like, "Whew, okay, we did all that, right?" So I like that about it, that we just that it's got flow. It's intuitive flow with the humans that are here. What have I done up to now to solve my problem with smoking? Has been a lot of different things. I have chewed gum, meditated, looked at, videos of lung cancer and esophageal cancer and tried to like really gross myself out. And so for solutions, I have, I was blowing bubbles because it's a very similar, chewing a lot of gum, eating a lot of mints. Um, those were the main things that I did earlier this year. I feel like there was more. I mean, I breath work. It's very ironic that I breath work and I'm a smoker. I've never been like a hardcore smoker, at least, but still, I've had a harder time quitting than I had envisioned. I don't see myself as addicted to something, and it's come to light that in fact I am, because I can't stop this nasty habit that is not. I don't even see myself as a smoker, which is weird. But so coming here and just being around, this fresh air, and I haven't, I found, so Rome suggested, like, one of the things I love about Rome and his take on the smoking is like, like, hey, people have been smoking ceremoniously for millions of years, hundreds of years. And so maybe if you make it more of a ritualistic practice, you don't have to necessarily give up that part of what, could be a habit, right? And so he suggested some herbal, um, I don't know what the right word is, herbal smoke, it's just like herbs in a tin that you would smoke that are much better for you. They're medicinal herbs that you could smoke. And so I used those while I was here if I felt like, oh, I could really use a cigarette right now, and they do the trick. Like I think I would be able to satiate the craving. At this point, I'm only to the point where like if I do want to smoke, I take like 2 hits off of a cigarette and put it out. So I think this is gonna put me over the edge, and I'm just more motivated to quit smoking. I'm not getting any younger, and it's just not who I am as a person. So it doesn't fit with who I want to be. So I haven't smoked the whole time I was here. So which that's not crazy. Like I've been longer than that without smoking, but I feel a renewed sense of like, all right, I've got now a new tool I can use in my toolbox. The shaking and the fascia work is something that I feel like that's another tool that I can use to, instead of smoking, I can do the shaking, and the fascia work was easy, like a easy goal to achieve each day. And then as far as the knee goes, Rome, who I, I wouldn't let anybody else on the whole planet probably do this to me, but he did the bloodletting cupping, the wet cupping on the back of my knee. And it didn't really hurt. It was a little discomfort, but not, I mean, this is ongoing discomfort and stiffness that's holding me back from doing things that I want to do. So I couldn't believe how quickly I felt a difference in the sensation in my knee. The stiffness literally was instantly gone. I mean, my knee right now is pretty fluid. I can extend it further than I could yesterday. So that has been a big change, big relief. Hopefully it sticks. And if it needs to be done again, I would be more comfortable doing it again too. My main takeaway was just to continue to love myself so hard that I wouldn't let myself do, I wouldn't allow the person that I love to smoke or have any bad foods or anything like that. That's the main takeaway. It's just a renewal of self-love. And something I would add too is that I always feel especially held at these retreats by both you and Rome. You guys are especially generous in like looking after me, as I'm like 30, like 20, 25 years older or so than anybody here. So I always feel especially cared for. So thank you for that. The top 3 things that I learned from Rome this week is, well, with the shaking stuff, I've not really done the shaking, which is the fascia work, and that seems super achievable for me. So that would be a big one. I love the play. I love the aspect of play. That's in my nature. And then, I mean, we talked a lot of philosophical stuff this weekend, which I love. So I would say that was a new one for me, like learning about like the philosophies on Thoth and some of the other ancient wisdom. That and just a reminder to like get barefoot and get my hands dirty out in the soil, and how good it feels to just kind of be in nature and remember that I'm like an animal, right? Like, so a lot of primal, like get back to my primal self. I cross rivers all the time though. I swear I do. That was a big, strong river though.
That was
You're
a
right.
very strong
I was
river.
deeper in
Yeah.
my waist, and so I didn't feel especially accomplished by that. Should I
I
have?
think you, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's like,
Well, I float the river by my like.
yeah, but floating is different than like
We're in it.
trudging through like a strong current. There was like, there were the sandbars, but then there were like those deeper parts where it definitely could
Yeah, I
have.
usually don't try to walk in. Like I usually keep it here if I'm walking through the rapids.
Yeah.
But you're right. Yeah. No.
I'm very impressed.
Okay. Well, I'll take that as a win too. All right. So, hey, I crossed a very fast-moving river, up to my waist, which is a little bit harder. And I really enjoyed the hot springs and the nature. I'm a water person, so anything we're doing in water is gonna light me up. I have learned not to be surprised by anything that happens with Rome. So I honestly, I probably a couple years ago I might have said, "Oh, what would have surprised me?" Well, surprised I would say by how well the blood cupping worked and how quickly it worked. I kind of knew it would work because, like I said, I trust what he says, and I've seen you guys doing it, on him. But I was surprised at the rapidness at which I felt a difference. Some of the movement is challenging for me, but just for like endurance or duration of it, like just playing with people who are 25 years my junior, I'm going to want probably a little more rest, which you guys very graciously afforded me. Um, so I guess just kind of like, all right, like we're going to keep playing. I wanted to keep playing, not wanting to stay up. I want to stay up all night and keep going. So that was a big challenge, was like, you have to go to bed. It's like 1 a.m. in your body. That was a big challenge, to just stop and rest, because we were having so much fun. The community here, for me anyway, is the connection. I feel a divine soul, deep connection with everyone that I've met in this community. Um, very much so. It's super deep connections here. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I genuinely love you. I genuinely love Rome. Well, not only would I recommend it, I have recommended it, and I would recommend it for anybody who breathes air. I've said that a million times, because the breath work's been a big game changer. That's just the tip of the iceberg, though. I would recommend it for anybody that wants to find more peace in their life, that wants to open their mind to a new way, or it's not even a new way, it's an old way, to like break the paradigms. We're getting caught up in this all the busyness of life, and this information is just bam, bam, bam. I would invite people to sit back, reflect, slow down, and give themselves time and space to think in nature. And this is the perfect container for it. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Well, uh, Roma's is very unique, and very convicted in his thoughts, and very well researched. I love listening to him talk, because I like the way that he presents things. He is very mindful of his, like, he speaks my language. He's unfiltered in a lot of ways, which I like. He doesn't beat around the bush. He gets straight to the point. He's not censoring himself to appease others, right? He's just saying what he thinks, take it or leave it. I like his very freedom, like, hey, like, just because I do this doesn't mean you have to. And one thing I really love about Roman is that, like, even like on our coaching calls and stuff, he welcomes a challenge. Like, a lot of people that are as convicted in what they're saying as he is aren't as open to, but wait, when I think about it like this, I feel a little bit differently. I see a little bit differently. He welcomes those challenges, which I find refreshing and empowering. So, and then just his take on freedom, where it's like, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm giving you tools you can use if you want to. So, those are some of, just again, the tip of the iceberg of what do I think about Rome. That's a funny question. I love him. So, um, yeah, he speaks my language. I've worked with a lot of coaches, but this one, he speaks my language, and I'm just kind of a no bullshit girl. So I like it when people don't bullshit me, and he doesn't bother with the bullshit. The food that we eat and the breaking bread together is like made with such love, and the food here is like unbelievably outstanding. Like, I can't get enough of Chloe's food. So, and it's all just everything you do is so clearly done with love. And I just feel that every second of every minute that I'm here.